The sky turned black as if night had fallen at noon. Stars vanished, eclipsed by an ominous presence. A faint humming noise vibrated through the air. People pointed, frozen in terror, as the first ship appeared. It descended, a massive dark disk, casting a shadow over the city. Panic set in as the truth dawned: we were not alone. Sirens blared, a cacophony of chaos. The ship's hull glinted, like black steel, as it loomed larger. A second ship emerged, then a third, each one enormous. The world watched in horror as the armada filled the sky. Dark, sleek vessels, with no lights, no signs of life. They moved with purpose, their destination unclear. The air grew thick with an otherworldly energy. Governments scrambled to respond, but it was too late. The ships formed a pattern, a grid that engulfed the globe. Their presence seemed to draw the light out of the world. Shadows deepened, as if the very fabric of reality was unraveling. Cities crumbled, societies collapsed, as the rules of reality no longer applied. The blackness spread, a stain that consumed everything. Planes fell from the sky, their engines sputtering. Radio communications died, silenced by an unseen force. The silence was oppressive, heavy with menace. People ran, desperate to escape the darkness. But there was nowhere to hide, no sanctuary from the void. The ships began to discharge, their cargo unknown. Objects, like seeds, rained down, embedding themselves in the ground. They pulsed with a malevolent energy, as if they were alive. The world trembled, on the brink of an abyss. The ships hovered, waiting, their purpose still unclear. But one thing was certain: humanity's time was running out. The last remnants of sunlight faded, extinguished by the darkness. The stars were gone, lost in the void. The moon hid, a coward, as the blackness deepened. The earth shuddered, a dying beast, as the alien presence took hold. The age of humanity was ending, a new era beginning. The gravity well roared to life, its power coursing through the planet's core. Energy output spiked, distorting spacetime around the globe. Alien ships, once a distant threat, now trembled in the skies. The first crash, a fiery explosion on the outskirts of New Eden. Debris rained down, a toxic storm of twisted metal and screams. Gravity's grip tightened, an unyielding vice crushing all in its path. A second ship, a hulking monstrosity, plummeted towards the ravaged city. Chaos reigned as panic-stricken humans fled the wreckage. Crashing, burning, the alien vessels screamed through the atmosphere. The gravity well's influence expanded, an unstoppable force warping reality. Earth's defenses, once futile, now stood strong against the invasion. A blazing hulk of an alien ship slammed into the ocean's surface. Tidal waves churned, engulfing coastal cities in a salty, churning apocalypse. Another ship, a fragile, crystalline thing, shattered on the mountainside. Human screams mingled with the cacophony of crumbling aliens. Gravity's relentless pull dragged down a squadron of fleeing ships. Earth's crust groaned, protesting the stresses of distorted spacetime. Flames lit the darkening horizon as more ships disintegrated. An eerie silence fell between the crashes, heavy with anticipation. Then, another, and another, the destruction never ending. Alien wreckage littered the landscape, a graveyard of broken steel and dreams. Earth's gravity well reshaped the battlefield, an unpredictable ally. Amidst the mayhem, a glimmer of hope flickered, a chance for humanity's rebirth. Resistance fighters, emboldened, launched a fierce counterattack. Lasers and cannons roared, shredding the remnants of the alien armada. Gravity, once a curse, had become humanity's most potent weapon. The planet's defenders, galvanized, fought on with renewed ferocity. Each fresh crash invigorated their resolve, their cries of triumph echoing. Alien corpses, like discarded toys, littered the scarred, blackened earth. Earth's gravity well, an unyielding sentinel, guarded its human charges. New Eden, a city reborn, slowly rose from the ashes of devastation. Earth's heroes, scarred and weary, stood victorious against an uncaring universe. Though the well's power came at a terrible cost, humanity would not be swayed. In the end, only one truth endured: humanity would prevail, or die trying. Gravity, the destroyer, had become humanity's unyielding, eternal shield. Spaceships shuddered as lightning bolts ripped through their hulls. The stormclouds unleashed their fury, relentless and unyielding. Electric discharges crackled across the fleet's defenses. A maelstrom of lightning engulfed the flagship, its shields buckling. Chaos reigned as millions of bolts struck with precision. The once mighty warships now trembled like fragile leaves. Explosions rocked the fleet, a cacophony of destruction. The storm's wrath was a sight to behold, both beautiful and terrifying. Hulls breached, atmosphere escaping into the void. Panicked screams echoed through comms, pleading for evacuation. Lightning-scorched wreckage spun out of control, a graveyard of steel. The Stormcloud Protocol had been activated, and there was no escape. Ships plummeted towards the planet's surface, burning and broken. Electric storms danced across the horizon, a deadly display. Survivors clung to life, their vessels shattered and dying. The tempest raged on, its power unrelenting and merciless. Lightning bolts sliced through space, an unending barrage. The fleet's destruction was a testament to the protocol's might. No ship was spared, all fell before the storm's fury. The sky was a deep, foreboding crimson, as if reflecting the bloodshed. Debris fields stretched out like a graveyard, a grim reminder of the devastation. Flames engulfed the hulls, a funeral pyre for the fallen. The storm's roar was deafening, a constant reminder of the doom that had been unleashed. The protocol's true power was now evident, a force to be reckoned with. Millions of lightning bolts, each one a harbinger of destruction. The fleet's remnants limped on, crippled and dying. The stormclouds loomed, an ominous presence that would not be silenced. In the distance, the planet's surface beckoned, a cold and unforgiving grave. The survivors' hopes were dwindling, their chances of escape slim. Lightning bolts ripped through the void, an endless and merciless assault. The Stormcloud Protocol had become a legend, a byword for destruction. Its power was a myth no more, but a harsh and brutal reality. The fleet's demise would be remembered for eternity, a cautionary tale. Amidst the ruins, a few ships still flew, their crews fighting to survive. But for how long, only time would tell, as the storm raged on. Commander Pierce gazed out at the besieged horizon. His eyes burned with a fire that would soon be extinguished. The weight of his armor was crushing, but he stood tall. Every inch of his face, a testament to unwavering resolve. "Hold the line," he growled, his voice like thunder. His soldiers, worn and weary, steeled themselves for the final stand. The enemy closed in, a tidal wave of steel and fire. Pierce's face, a map of scars and determination. His jaw set, he gave the order to fall back to the inner fortress. The last stronghold of humanity, a citadel of defiance. "Preserve the seed of humanity," he commanded, his voice carrying over the din. His soldiers, a thin line of brave and battered souls. The fate of the world rested on their shoulders. Pierce's face, a mask of unyielding will. His eyes, two burning stars in a universe gone dark. The fortress walls, a bulwark against the void. The enemy, a remorseless and unending horde. "Fight to the last," Pierce's voice echoed through the corridors. His soldiers, a dwindling band of brothers and sisters. The darkness closed in, a suffocating shroud. Pierce's face, a beacon of hope in a desolate landscape. His voice, a call to arms in a silent, empty universe. The seed of humanity, a fragile flame flickering in the void. "Protect it," Pierce ordered, his words a battle cry. The enemy, a monstrous and unyielding tide. His soldiers, a thin line of defenders, fought to the last. Pierce's face, a portrait of unshakable courage. The fortress, a tomb, waited to receive its dead. The commander's voice, a final whisper in the darkness. "Preserve our identity," he gasped, his breath fading. The universe, a cold and unforgiving expanse. Pierce's soldiers, the last guardians of humanity's spark. The darkness, a victorious and unrelenting foe. The commander's face, frozen in time, a testament to his unyielding spirit. His legacy, a final order to preserve the essence of humanity. Tsunami sirens wailed as the first wave crashed down. Dark waters consumed the alien invasion force. Humans had triggered the apocalypse to save their world. The once pristine beach was now a graveyard. Waves towered over the crumbling shoreline. Alien ships splintered like twigs. The roar of the tsunami drowned out the screams. Debris-filled waves scoured the coast. A mangled alien corpse washed up on the sand. The stench of salt and smoke hung in the air. A human survivor stumbled through the wreckage. The ocean churned with unprecedented fury. Coastal cities were reduced to rubble. Tsunami waves ripped through the alien landing craft. The ground shuddered as the waves slammed into the shore. Emergency beacons pierced the darkness. A lone alien survivor clung to a piece of flotsam. The humans watched in grim satisfaction. Their plan had worked, but at what cost? The tsunami raged on, unrelenting. The world was forever changed. Alien bodies littered the beach like seaweed. The survivors huddled together, shell-shocked. The waves showed no signs of receding. A new era of warfare had begun. Humans had unleashed the fury of the sea. The alien threat was neutralized, but not defeated. The ocean's power was a terrible thing to behold. Tsunami waves continued to pound the shore. The sound of crashing waves was deafening. A human patrol combed the beach for survivors. The alien invasion force was no more. The humans had saved their world, but lost their innocence. The sea was calm, but the war was far from over. The humans stood vigilant, waiting for the next wave. The alien virus, meant to enslave humanity, backfired catastrophically. Glowing eyes pierced the darkness as the first super soldier emerged. Muscle and sinew rearranged, forging an unbreakable frame. The once weak human now stood as an unyielding titan. Eyes aglow, the super soldier cut through the shadows. Alien creators cowered as their plan unraveled. Enhanced strength crushed the enemy with a single swipe. The era of human supremacy dawned, born from viral ashes. Genetic code rewritten, the new humans rose. Transformed warriors marched, their footsteps shaking the earth. Unbridled ferocity drove them forward, untamed and unrelenting. Alien strongholds crumbled beneath their feet. The super soldiers' glowing eyes illuminated the battlefield. Enemies fled, terrified by the unholy glow. Humanity, reborn, stormed the alien mothership. Viral mutations spiraled out of control, empowering the host. A new breed of warrior, born from the virus, dominated the galaxy. The super soldiers' roar thundered, a deafening challenge to the cosmos. As the last alien fell, the super soldiers stood victorious. The age of glowing-eyed warriors had begun, an epoch of unyielding dominance. Unstoppable and unrelenting, they forged their own destiny. The virus, once a curse, became a blessing in disguise. Human evolution accelerated, propelled by the aliens' mistake. The super soldiers' legend grew, as did their unyielding power. Glowing eyes watched, unwavering and unblinking, as the universe trembled. Transcending human limitations, the super soldiers forged a new path. Unmatched in combat, they carved their own legend. In the heart of the alien mothership, humanity's new era unfolded. The super soldiers' unwavering loyalty was to their own kind, and their own kind alone. United, they marched, their glowing eyes burning bright. A new world order emerged, with the super soldiers at its core. Those who once sought to destroy humanity now begged for mercy. Unrelenting and unstoppable, the super soldiers would not be swayed. As the last remnants of resistance fell, the super soldiers stood triumphant. Their glowing eyes, a beacon of hope, illuminated the dark expanse. Ice cracked beneath boots as Captain Orion stepped into the frozen Sahara. The once endless dunes now stretched out like a graveyard of white marble. Solar winds howled through the crystalline landscape like a chorus of the damned. Cryo-turrets rose from the ice, spewing forth frozen shrapnel. The enemy's screams were reduced to mere whispers in the biting gale. Frostbite claimed another soldier, his fingers blackening like burnt wood. Orion's breath misted in the chill air as he surveyed the battle-scarred terrain. The Sahara's ancient heart now beat to the rhythm of frost and steel. Ice-encased tanks stood as monoliths, their cannons frozen in time. A lone figure emerged from the whiteout, rifle at the ready. The earth itself seemed to shudder as a glacier-caliber shell struck the ice. Aurora-lit clouds boiled above, casting an otherworldly glow. The freeze had become a palpable entity, a force that commanded respect and inspired terror. Ice-locked helicopters hung from the sky like frozen spiders. Orion's comms crackled to life, bearing the voice of a distant commander. "Hold the line, Captain, the freeze is our only hope." The words echoed through his mind as he charged into the maelstrom. Cryo-grenades detonated with frosty precision, entombing enemy positions. Shattered ice crunched beneath his boots like 1,000 brittle bones. A stray round whined past his ear, its warmth a fleeting respite from the cold. His squad fanned out, a phalanx of steel and ice against the enemy tide. Frozen turrets blazed to life, cutting down invaders with icy efficiency. Glacial crevices yawned open, revealing hidden caverns and forgotten horrors. In this desolate expanse, only the strongest would survive. The Sahara's icy grip tightened, an unforgiving shroud that would not relent. As night fell, stars twinkled above like ice chips in a dark drink. The freeze deepened, an unyielding pall that would not be shaken. In this frozen world, humanity's fate hung in the balance. Orion's heart burned with a fire that would not be extinguished, a flame that would guide his men through the darkness. Ice and steel had become their only solace in a world gone mad. His voice rang out across the frozen waste, a battle cry that would not be silenced. Through the howling gale and the frozen chaos, his men pressed on, unyielding. The Sahara's ice-locked heart remained unbroken, a testament to their unyielding resolve. The enemy would be entombed, forever lost in the frozen vastness. In the distance, the frozen silhouette of a city rose, its towers reaching toward a sky that was no longer blue. Humanity's iron grip closed around the solar system. The last alien stronghold fell to nuclear fire. A dying world became a tomb for the defeated. From the ashes, a new order rose. The once blue skies turned a toxic gray. Cybernetic armies marched across the planets. Mars, a barren tomb, stood as a testament to war. The red sands whispered secrets to the wind. The last remnants of alien life were hunted down. Aboard the generation ship, Aurora, humanity's leaders plotted. The cosmos trembled at the coming of the human storm. Venus, a scorching hellscape, was tamed by human will. The gas giants' moons were transformed into orbiting fortresses. Jupiter's great red spot churned with toxic fury. Saturn's rings hid the ruins of an ancient civilization. The sun dipped into the horizon, casting a bloody glow. Mercury, a scorched and blackened rock, served as a warning. Earth, the cradle of humanity, was now a fortress world. Alien artifacts were melted down into human armor. The solar system, a battleground, was won at great cost. Amidst the rubble, humanity stood victorious. The death world was forged, a testament to human ingenuity. In the darkness, human hearts burned with an unquenchable fire. Across the void, the cry of humanity's triumph echoed. In the silence, the universe trembled. The solar system, a tomb, was also a womb for human rebirth. From the ashes, a new humanity arose. The shadows were filled with the whispers of the defeated. The stars themselves seemed to shudder at humanity's might. Earth's ruins hid the secrets of the past. The future was written in the fire of 1,000 suns. In the blackness of space, humanity's legend grew. Throughout the solar system, the echoes of war still lingered. The human war cry still resonated across the void. Amidst the desolation, humanity's spirit remained unbroken.